what's up? Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast needs from. It's your boy, Carn Casey Cadell. I'm on the first episode of Hard Knocks New Sports Show, collaborating Chinatown TV and Jim Mint 10 Gaming. I'm here with Josh Eekman. Say what's up to the people.
This is the first time we've met, so it's nice to meet you. I've met you through Travis, as everybody knows, on the Gem. I don't know what you go by. Either for me, you can call me Josh, call me Ekman, whatever you want to call me. It don't matter to me. But it's nice to meet you and look forward to doing this with you.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I'm glad to have you. Look around for some guests, man. Get going. Everybody's pretty much busy, and I'm glad you're able to come on the show with me tonight, man. I was kind of disappointed about what they was getting on the show with me and just be me talking to myself. And but glad to have you on. Look forward to this partnership between Chinatown TV and Jim and Tim, man. And I enjoy doing content with Lucky and MVP over at Triple Threat Wrestling. So I'm glad to add this new show to your channel.
Yeah, same here. Works. And I don't know, just so people know, be my service, it could be yours. You're a little bit out on my end, so if I don't hear you the first time, just I'll end up hearing you. It could be on my end too, though. Greatest here. I'm out of Myrtle Beach. Where are you located?
I'm actually in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the home of the Crimson Tide, Alabama Crimson Tide. Yes, sir.
Okay. I won't hold that against you. I'm a Ohio State fan, so I won't hold that against you.
You guys got us a couple times before, so
yeah. Yep, same. So, but yeah.
But let's go ahead and get started, man. Both schools are definitely known for their NFL prospects over the last 25 years. Early round picks. Some guys that I know from Alabama probably getting drafted today. I'm not sure how many Ohio State guys are getting drafted today, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, we know one for sure for Ohio State. So
right. It's not gonna take very long. But I guess we're gonna get started, man. Who you got going number one? Oh, by the way, he's the odds. I'm the even, so he's 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. I'm 2, 4, 6. So go ahead, Josh.
So clearly, everybody's going to obviously know this pick. Bears number one pick. It's going to be Caleb Williams. I don't know about you. Obviously, I just kind of met you, so I don't know what your feelings are in the NFL, the college football, who you look for, who you don't look for. I think the Bears busted on what they should have done in the offseason. I think they should have kept Justin Fields, traded maybe that number one pick so they can guarantee Marvin Harrison. But obviously, I have to go with Caleb Williams at this spot. I know the Bears, if they pass Caleb Williams still, it'll just be crazy in my opinion. But yeah, I think they're going to take Caleb Williams. I don't think it's going to pan out. I just don't like Caleb Williams. I don't know why. It's more of an arrogant thing. Maybe he thinks it's an ego thing. I don't know. But yeah, I think he's definitely the number one pick, obviously, as everybody's probably going to have on their boards too.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm not a huge Caleb Williams fan. He didn't do enough in college for me. He played in the Pac-12, which is very easy. Normally, it's a lot of shootout games, so he could have went on a run the last couple of years, and he didn't. Of course, he won the Heisman last year, and this year he kind of fell off, lost a bunch of games in a row. When their team had a chance to compete in the playoffs and for the Pac-12 championship, and he didn't rise to the occasion for me. I see the tools, I see the arm strength or whatever, like intangibles for me. He doesn't seem like the greatest leader in the world. He seems like he cries when things don't go his way. Of course, he feels very entitled. He wants to own teams and stuff like that.
Yes.
Right out the gate, and I'm not a type of person to just hand someone my franchise like that. So, me personally, I'm a bigger Jaden Daniels fan, or even Michael Penix fan. Me personally, but I know those guys are kind of mocked a little lower because of they don't really have the skill set. But from what I've seen from Michael Penix and Jaden Daniels, they have the leadership, the locker room counterpiece towards them. Those are the true leaders of their team. You've seen what Michael Penix did in the playoffs. He nearly beat Michigan. He didn't have a bad game. rally around him. And so,
Yep.
me personally, I would trade this pick to Buffalo for Josh Allen. If he's not happy with them trading Stephon Diggs, I'm trading this pick to
Yeah.
the Chargers. Maybe the Chargers want J.J. McCarthy, and they have no weapons there already. Maybe they're not happy with what they did. He lost his running back in Austin Eckler's offseason, so things aren't going other teams' way. And I would definitely dangle that first round pick, that first overall pick over the team's head that don't have happy quarterbacks right now.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man. And with the number 2 overall pick, of course, we just doing the basic picks. The two top teams need quarterbacks. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Jaden Daniels, my favorite quarterback in this draft. I was really considering Robert Harrison Jr. And here's why. I like Terry McLaurin. I think he's a really good a decent number 1, but I think he can be a really good number 2. And I feel like Jahan Dotson is probably more fitting to go in the slot. And then you give Sam Howell another year to do it with those weapons. You was able to get him, I think, Zach Ertz in the offseason to play tight end. He's a proven tight end in the league. You got Austin Eckler to go along with Bijan Robinson. Brian Robinson Jr., kind of thunder and lightning combination with them.
Yep.
It just seems like if you put those weapons around Sam Howell, protect him with the offensive line, he could probably do something. And if not, you can get a quarterback in the second round where you have a 36 overall pick and a 40 overall pick. Maybe they'll put Michael Penix or both. But yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you there. But here's my thing. So I think they have to take Jaden Daniels because did they? I'm pretty sure they they sent Sam Howell to Seattle, and now they don't have a quarterback. It's Marcus Mariota, I believe, right now. If you want to look that up, just to double check my facts there, but I'm pretty sure Sam Howell is in Seattle right now, and Marcus Mariota is their starting quarterback. And if they kept Sam Howell, that was actually
you're right. You're right. I just seen it. Oh wow! I thought they had Drew Lock in.
And I was actually a Sam Howell fan. I wish they would have kept him. And if they would have kept Sam Howell, I don't trust Marcus Mariota. Although he didn't do too bad in Atlanta, but wasn't good enough. And I think they should have went with Marvin Harrison if they would have kept Sam Howell. But now that they only have Marcus Mariota, they probably have to build and hopefully bring someone in to kind of fight for that. So that's why I do agree with you that like Jaden Daniels or for them was going to be their pick. And that's why Jaden Daniels has to be the pick.
I'm not that high on Drake May. I don't think he played that many great teams this year. He was very consistent. I know they talk about how he lost all this offensive talent, but that's kind of what everybody goes through every year. When you have a good team, good players around you, they go to the draft, they graduate. And so, like, for it to happen another year after he had just had a decent sophomore year, his junior and senior year, he kind of fell off. Once that talent left and the competition changed.
Yep. So I have the third round. I have the third pick, which should be the Pats. But I know there's chances that the Vikings might trade up so they can get a quarterback and all that. I'm going to pick this off of it being the Patriots because they need a quarterback as well as the Vikings do. So I don't know if they're going to trade down or not or what their plans are.
They need a lot.
But what's that?
I said they need a lot. Not just
exactly. That's the thing. So for me on this one, and here how I pick on when I do these mock drafts, how I pick is more based off what the NFL team needs and not what the player in college did, because I think you would agree that we know that you got a number 1 pick and look at pretty last pick of the draft. I mean, stuff like that where you don't know who's going to actually end up being what they should be in the NFL. So for me, the next quarterback on the list that I think the Patriots will probably look at, since Jaden Daniels should be off the board at number 2, I'm going to go with Drake May out of North Carolina. So I think that's the best pick for the Patriots. I think if the Vikings trade up, I think that there's a chance that's it. I really think that Daniels Drake May conversation, it could be flip flop. I see Drake May commanders or vice versa. So, but yeah, my third pick for the Patriots is going to be Drake May. I think that's probably what they're going to focus on if they're up at that third pick. It might trade down and maybe go receiver or something like that. But they really need a quarterback. I mean, Bailey Zappi's not the answer there. I don't.
Oh yeah,
but I expect them to stay there.
yeah. Of course not. For me, honestly, it's either trade out with a team like the Vikings, like you said earlier, or use the pick on the best player available. Marvin Harrison Jr. would definitely be an option to me. Whoever is playing quarterback is going to need someone to throw to. No disrespect to Kendrick Bourne and those guys they already have in place, but they're not number ones or even number twos on most teams. So I wouldn't want to throw a quarterback in that position, and he has no one to throw to. And also, Jaden McCarthy, I think he's probably in the conversation of what the type of quarterback the Patriots want. Of course, seeing Tom Brady, he's from Michigan. He's more of the game manager style quarterback that Jaden McCarthy is. Doesn't lose that many games, don't make very many mistakes for you or whatever. But as long as he has a strong team around him, he can get the job done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess Drake May has more of the tools to elevate his talent, where JJ's kind of put that talent forward instead.
Yep.
So I like the pick.
Yeah, and I could see. I really could see JJ higher. I'm just kind of go off the consensus right now. What I think's going to happen. Not surprise me if the Patriots take JJ McCarthy over Drake May, and then someone else gets Drake May. That would not surprise me. JJ didn't get to the national championship and win. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Drake May, I think he has the more natural talent than JJ, so he probably would get pushed further up the board, where JJ doesn't have the same arm talent as I got like Drake May. But my number 4 pick, I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. Give Kyler Murray a true number 1, where he's been missing for a very, very long time. Since having DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald. Marvin Harrison Jr. He's actually my favorite player of all time, son.
Oh, okay.
I'm great that I was definitely grateful for having this pick, man. Yeah, growing up high school in the mid to late 2000s, I was a huge Marvin Harrison fan. And I actually wore number 88 in high school, my 9th and 10th grade year, because of Marvin Harrison. But yeah, back to his son, he's a great number 1. He's been was a All-American the last couple of years. Has made some insane catches and plays with the Ohio State Buckeyes. Of course, you being a fan, of course, knows how good he is. But yeah, man, Kyler Murray definitely needs a guy like him. If they wanted to trade down and get some more picks, I understand they aren't, Super Bowl ready at the moment. So, filling some more holes is also another for the Cardinals. But we're just going straight down from 1 to 32. So we're good.
Yep. Number 5 pick. This is where it gets a little risky too, because I've also heard rumors of the Chargers and something, so the Broncos can move up. Take the next quarterback off the board. If the Chargers stay where they're at, Chargers this year, although they're getting Harbaugh as coach, which I thought probably a good addition for them, they've lost a ton of talent, especially on the offensive side, with losing Allen, Eckler, even the tight end's gone out of there too. The name, I'm not remembering the name though. What was his name? I can't remember, but I think he went to Chicago also, if I remember correctly. But Chargers now need to build something for Justin Herbert if they're going to end up keeping him, unless they trade him, like you were saying, which that would too. If they're going to build around him, they're going to focus on a receiver. I think the number 1 receiver in the draft coming out is going to be is it Malik Neighbors, I believe, is what I have on there. I want to make sure here. Yeah, Malik Neighbors out of LSU. I think he's one of the top receivers with Marvin Harrison coming out of the draft. And obviously they're not going to be able to get Marvin Harrison. So I see them going after Malik Neighbors. Who would you think if they were in that position that they're in at 5? Who do you think they're going to take? You think they're going to go after a wide receiver?
I'm stuck in between, man. Honestly, I can see where they would want to get more weapons for Justin Herbert. Of course, they traded Kenny Allen. Mike Williams went to the Jets, and so they need to recoup some of their talent at wide receiver. But at the same time, when Rashawn Slater isn't healthy, the offensive line goes down, and so to add a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion, old lineman like Joe Alt or Fashanu out of Penn State, would be great for them too as well. I don't like your pick. I mean, I don't hate your pick in Malik Neighbors. I want them to add more talent. I think what they already have in place with Quentin Johnston, he's more of a bigger guy, and so having a smaller guy like Malik Neighbors who's really fast, compare well with him. So yeah, great pick.
And I also think if they do trade down, if they trade the Broncos and they go down in the draft in the first round, I do think they will probably focus on the offensive line. I just think at that 5th pick, you have to take maybe a stud receiver like that. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what they do. Maybe they'll go offensive line right off the bat. But I do think, though, if they do trade the Broncos, they're definitely going to go offensive line route.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I don't see them trading in the division with the Broncos. I can definitely see them trading down with the Minnesota, maybe Saints if they want to get crazy and move off of Derek Carr or something. I don't know. Next up, we got the New York Giants. I think the run on receivers is going to keep going. I'm going to take Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. Of course, Jim McCarthy is sitting right there. It did give Daniel Jones a lot of money. They could release him next offseason, but that's still more money, dead cap money that they don't get to use. So I will keep Jones and continue to build around whoever my future quarterback is. They got Jalen Hyatt, Wandale Robinson, and now getting Rome Odunze to add to that roster. And then the O-line is going to get better. Evan Neal was already All-American in college and stuff like that. Of course, him finding his spot in NFL is kind of more the issue. Is he a right tackle? Is he a left guard? Is he a left tackle? But you got Andrews right there who's been a Pro Bowl the last couple of seasons, so you don't need that spot filled. So getting a Joe Alt or Fashanu won't necessarily help right now unless you have on plans on making Evan Neal a full-time guard, which right now I don't think they're really committed to just yet. So I'm taking Rome Odunze, a wide receiver.
Yeah, I like that. That's actually what I had for them also. Number 7th pick, we got the Titans. This is going to be an interesting one. I mean, I don't think it's interesting. I think it's pretty common sense. I mean, you got Will Levis, who you're obviously going to give him a full year now, hopefully build a team around him. You just got you have Hopkins. You have Tony Pollard from the Cowboys. With who they just get on a max deal, Christian Kirk, I think, from the Jags, a receiver. So you're kind of Calvin Ridley. Yeah, Calvin Ridley. So you're stacked really on offense. So I think now is where you focus on the offensive line to protect Will Levis, and I think that's where they go with someone. I'm torn between. I'm assuming your top offensive lineman coming out of the draft is Joe Alt. And I see J.C. Latham is a pretty good pick too. But
Alt and Fashanu, they flip-flop with me all the time. It's no different. Fashanu from last year coming out of college, he decided to come back to work on his run protecting, but as a pass protector, he's the best pass protector, but it's probably the better run protector.
Yep.
And a decent pass protector and has good feet. You can go wrong either way. J.C. Latham, he projects more of a right tackle, which I think they probably need more of a left. So it's kind of depends on your flavor, really. If you like wild cherry, you like wild cherry.
I think I would. Yeah, I'd definitely go Joe Alt on this one. I think that's who they're going to be leaning towards if everything pans out that way. but you have a ton of offensive linemen, right? Offensive tackles right now that you could really choose from. But I think the first offensive tackle off the board will be Joe Alt, and that should go to Tennessee. I believe that's who they should be looking for right now.
All right, now that you're going with Joe Alt, I'm going to go with Dallas Turner for the Atlanta Falcons. Rome Medusa is gone. The other top receivers are gone. The biggest need for the Falcons over the last few years, probably dating back to the Vic Beasley days, has been edge rusher. They top edge rusher last year with Calais Campbell, and he's almost 40 years old. So getting us some young talent on the offense, on the defensive line, like Dallas Turner, is going to help this team tremendously. I think this is probably a unanimous pick, unless you have another idea. But the Atlanta Falcons taking Dallas Turner.
That's who. Oh, that's who I had on mine. My volume keeps going on. That's who I had for the Falcons. Also, Dallas Turner. Their offense is. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's stacked, but their offense. I mean, you got Kirk Cousins you picked up. Bijan Robinson, as long as they use them better this year than they did last year. You still got some half decent receivers. Kyle Pitts at tight end, which he's not being used like he should. I think he's going to have a very big up for Cousins there finally. I think their offense is kind of pretty set. So, yeah, Dallas Turner was my pick also on that one. So,
oh, yeah. Like you said, the
and
offense
then,
is stacked.
so yeah. With them, I mean, I think that's a great pick there. Now, ninth pick with the Bears again. So, this is where I think it's going to hurt the Bears. You lost. There's for me a wide receiver now. Even if available, I still don't think I would take a wide receiver. Which I think the consensus is saying for them that available take him. But you got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and then you got DeAndre Swift. I mean, you're pretty much stacked offensive side now. So I think that was where you start building.
Keenan Allen's getting a little older, and
he is.
His last year's contract. That's all.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he is. So you could pick someone up there. I'm gonna go more with the consensus. I think you could go offensive line. Also, I think you could go. They need to start building up that defense now. Also, a little bit. I'm gonna go with consensus right now that they're saying that they're gonna go with Jared Verse, the edge out of Florida State. I think you start building that defense now. Maybe pick up some offensive linemen here in the second, third rounds. But I think you got to start building that defense. You got the offense you want. You got your quarterback with the first pick. If that's who you're sticking with, then you got to kind of just start focusing on the defense to start building that defense up now to match that offense.
Oh yeah, for sure. They started off pretty good last year, getting that defense together, trading for Montez Sweat, which I was really high on coming out of Mississippi State. Was great for the Commanders. Was great at the end of the season for the Bears, and pairing him with Jared Verse to take their team a long way, man. That's why I was saying earlier, like, if they were to trade the number one overall pick and get a proven quarterback like a Josh Allen or Justin Herbert, it opens up a Super Bowl window instead of you waiting on a rookie quarterback with an older receiver, with a running back who is over 25 years old, who's going to be 30. Well, in a couple years, be 30. But by the time Caleb Williams or whoever's playing quarterback is ready, the Super Bowl window closed again. So trading up first overall pick, Herbert or Josh Allen, along with those receivers, adding their verse at 9, you win the draft. All right, at number 10, for the New York Jets, I can go a couple ways with this pick, man. O-line, they say Kawaga is right there. But they added some guys in the offseason, Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses from the Ravens to play left and right tackle. The guys a little bit older, but when they are healthy, when they were, of course, in their prime, they were some of the best tackles in the game. And of course, Aaron Rodgers is on his last year of it, and I'm sure they want to capitalize on having him around and that Super Bowl caliber defense. And so I'm gonna go with Brock Bowers right here, man. They have some good receivers, Mike Williams, Alan Lazard, Garrett Wilson, who was the Offensive Rookie of the Year last year. Um, they weakest spot on that team probably is tight end. Jack Conklin is very serviceable tight end, but he isn't a Brock Bowers type talent. They have Brees Hall at running back, and so capitalizing on a guy like uh, Aaron Rodgers, and try to get him a ring who retires. I think they should go in that direction, and then maybe in the second round, maybe they can land a successor for him, or if they still believe in Zach Wilson, I'm not really sure. For Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, my thing with the Jets is just pray that Rodgers can play one game. I mean, as long as that happens and he doesn't have something like that happen like what happened last year, Brock Bowers is going to be a huge plus for that offense. And to be honest, the Jets were not terrible last year with what happened in the beginning. So their defense is a solid defense, and they're going to add some pieces in the offseason or in the draft here, and I think it's going to help them out a lot. But yeah, I definitely like that pick. The 11th pick with the Vikings, like I said, this could change. If this ends up where it's at, I'm obviously the Vikings. I think they're looking for a quarterback. They got rid of Kirk Cousins. You're going to find your guy, JJ McCarthy. I believe is the answer, but I understand why they could maybe go with Penix Jr. And Bo Nix, I still think is sleeping there. I don't think he goes over McCarthy or Jr. I don't. I mean, I just don't. I think those two are just a little bit a step above him. But I do think JJ McCarthy will go to the Vikings. I think that's a great pick. You don't have to trade up and give away anything. You can stay right where you're at the 11th pick. I think he'll last till then. I think you still have some great options there. And they're also getting a pick on the 23rd pick, I think, in the from Houston. So a big pickup there for them to build a lot in this first round. So yeah, I mean, I think has a great chance to be right up there with Williams, May, and Jaden Daniels. So I expect good things from him.
Oh yeah, man. Kirk Cousins leaving Minnesota for Atlanta had made him a lot of money, and also made JJ McCarthy, Drake May, whoever gets drafted to Minnesota a lot of money, because if they don't draft a quarterback,
Yep.
Or get another quarterback outside of Sam Dowell, Jay Jettis is leaving.
For sure. Honest. Yep.
I know there have been trade rumors about him going to reunite with his LSU buddies, maybe trading T. Higgins in the first round pick to Minnesota for Justin Jefferson. But if I'm Minnesota, I'm getting a quarterback ASAP. I might even trade that pick and get like I said, for the Bears, same thing. You have Aaron Jones in the backfield. You have a Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, T.J. Hawkinson, the tight end, young offensive line who's developing every year. I would take a swing at it. I'm calling Buffalo. I'm calling LA, the Chargers. Hey man, we really need a quarterback. You guys aren't ready to compete like I thought y'all were. What's the price? I need to keep Jay Jettis in house.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
What do you think real quick before you the chances of a big trade happening this year?
I give it about a 15% chance. I'm pretty sure the Chargers and the Bills are hanging on to their franchise quarterbacks real tight, unless they get some insane offer like 4 or 5 first round picks. I don't see it happening. But if I'm one of these teams, like I said, like Justin Fields didn't work out, and the Bears, Kirk Cousins left the Vikings hanging, I'm taking a swing at it because I have all these great weapons. Why not?
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
I got the best. I have the best wide receiver in the whole league, and no one throwing the ball. What's the point of having them?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Here with the Broncos, man, the all the top quarterbacks are gone. Far as the top 10 guys, the top 10, around the top 10 guys are all gone. We just seen JJ McCarthy go with Minnesota. This pick is very hard. I'm gonna be honest. Brock Bowers was an option at one point. Kind of messed myself up. O line isn't a huge issue with them, but they also need a lot of offense in general. Wide receiver, after losing Jerry Judy, um, possibly running back, even though running back isn't. I don't have any first round running backs right now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with either Fashanu or Latu out of UCLA. But that defense is already so good, despite the offense being so lackluster. Um, hmm, I mean, when their second round pick is.
I'm gonna be very interested in where you go with this pick because this will be our first little mix up of where I think the Broncos were gonna go compared to where you think they're gonna go. So this will be interesting.
They have no second round pick. Oh man. I'm looking
And
at Penix.
who's their quarterback right
I think Jared Stidham.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I can't remember.
Um, there's usually not a quarterback right here to draft at 12. Of course, I know the Raiders are real big on Michael Penix Jr. Antonio Pierce came out and
Hmm.
said that, and so it would be a great like stiff in the arm to the Raiders, who are the division rivals, to get Penix right here.
Yep.
Um, but the value is not there for me personally. As you can see, they have him at 29, ranked on Pro Football Focus. So they're not really high on him as well. Fashano was sitting right there at tackle. So whoever plays quarterback for them is going to need protection. Um, hmm, hmm. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the safe pick and go with tackle since we're not doing trades. I probably would have traded down to maybe 17
Yep.
to the Jags and jump the Raiders for the cornerback, Quillion Mitchell. But since we're going straight down, I'm just going to take the O line. Raiders up next.
Yep. And I'll be honest. So I was really in between on that pick. So I think the Broncos in my side. I think the Broncos are going to take a quarterback. I don't know who though yet. I think it's going to be between Penix and Bo Nix, but I think they desperately need a quarterback. That's who I had them taken. With that, that opens up a lot for the Raiders. If they don't, I think the Raiders are
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed to take a quarterback. They need one. I don't think they're set with Aiden O'Connell um, or at quarterback. So I think they're taking Michael Penix Jr. Don't think Bo Nix is going to last. I don't think Bo Nix is going to go. But I do see the Raiders taking Michael Penix. Yeah, I did not. I don't know if I guess maybe I looked more at the more. Are they really looking to fill that quarterback spot? But I like what you were saying is how whoever plays there, they got to build an offensive line around. So yeah, I think that was a pretty interesting pick. But yeah, it doesn't change my Raiders pick. I still think they're going to take Penix.
Okay. So I was thinking Bo Nix. I think he fits their scheme a lot more for the Broncos. But
Yep.
we seen what he could do at Oregon when he had the weapons around him. But the Broncos don't have that just yet. And so if they
Yeah.
were to trade down, most likely in this scenario, collect some more picks, especially second rounders, where they can maybe get an offensive line to protect Bo Nix. I would have taken Bo Nix later on, like at 17 or at
Yep.
2021 or whatever like that. Whatever I'm trading up from. I don't like him at so high at 12. We saw what he did at
Yep.
Auburn. He wasn't that great when they didn't have anything around him, and so that was my leaning factor because I see a lot of Drew Brees in Bo Nix, but at the same time, they do have Sean Payton in house, and so that comparison between him and Drew Brees, and also having Sean Payton in house, would have did great for him. Maybe they do decide to reach on him. But you said
Yeah.
Penix with the
Yep.
Raiders.
Pennant. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the Raiders. Yeah. I think they're. I think at that point, if the Broncos don't take either of them, I think they will go after one of those two. I'd like Michael Penix Jr. Sure. So that's where I think they'll they'll end up going.
same. Yeah, and they also have Devontae Adams in house, so I'm sure same situation with Minnesota. You got this great wide receiver, but
Yep.
maybe you don't have the quarterback in place to throwing the ball. Next up,
Yeah.
we have the Saints. Uh, they have really loaded talent wise on offense. They have Alvin Kamara. They have Chris Olave. They have Rashid Shaheed, however you say his name. O
Yeah.
line could improve a lot. D line could also improve a lot. So I was leaning towards either Felice Fuaga, but at the same time, I don't trust their left tackle, um, Trevor Penny at the moment. I wish Fashanu was still right here. So I'm kind of just in between these two right tackles right now. Um, J.C. Latham and
Yeah. That's who I had for the Saints. Was
yeah. Uh, since that didn't go our way, we're probably gonna go with Fuaga. He's a certified right tackle. Maybe he can move around to the left side. Maybe, um, but with this, you definitely help the O line out. You're not really sure what Ryan Ramczyk is doing with his career. He's been very injury prone. Um, last year, first overall, last year's pick, Trevor Penny, it projected more of a guard. So getting Fuaga right here at 14 is a steal.
yeah. I definitely thought that they were going to lead that way. Towards that position. So yeah, I did. That does not surprise me that they're definitely going to look at that. They don't need. And they also what they need to do is either make stack that defense up a little bit or build around Derek Carr and touch last year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, other than that, they do have playmakers still on that team. I think with the Colts on the 15th at the 15th pick, I think they could use some wide receiver depth, but I think they're really going to start looking for their defense. Um, I'm hoping Anthony Richardson come back healthy. I get things out of him. I think quarterback wise or cornerback wise is where I think they're going to go. Let's see here who I had ranked higher. Let's see.
You're looking at the corners.
Yeah, corners. I think is it Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo? I think he's one of the better corners coming out of the league. I can see where they would go maybe with Nate Wiggins or Arnold. It's obviously it's going to depend on who when they interviewed them, who they like better, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to go corner wise, I think Mitchell is probably one of the better bets. I think to go that way.
I think Mitchell was the best corner in the draft, but the
Yep.
highest, the cornerback with the highest ceiling is Terry Arnold. He's not. He might not be as ready as Mitchell or as Kool Aid McKinstry or Wiggins is right now, but you give Terry Arnold 3 years to kind of get that raw side of him out. He's this is really his first year starting really for Bama, and so
Yeah.
uh, getting him acclimated to that defense, man, could definitely do wonders. I would definitely go toward maybe Mitchell. Like I said, he's already ready. Depending on how you are with your team, if you look for a guy who's ready now, you think you can win, then go Mitchell. If you see 2 3 years down the line, Mitchell could be the top corner in the league, then go for Terry Arnold.
Yep.
So it's up to you.
Yeah, I think Mitchell. I think they're going to go with Mitchell because I think, like I said, it's very close between the two. I'm going to say Mitchell, but it's not going to surprise me if they go the Arnold route. You know what I mean? Just because of how you're saying. Because honestly, it depends on where you go with the Seahawks. I'm probably going Arnold with the Jags. I mean, you know what I mean? So it was very, very close between those two. I just kind of was trying to fill out like who's basically higher on the draft board for corners, and I think Mitchell is a little bit higher, but Arnold's going to be a very, very good corner here in the future too.
Right. Seattle, pretty easy pick for me. They're getting the O line together. They have a lot of weapons on offense. Uh, Kenneth Walker, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, J.S. Enid, who they drafted last year, wide receiver out of Ohio State.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I would love for Brock Bowers to fall here too. Noah Fant, I think, is on here last year, so Brock Bowers would have been a great pick here. But with them already building the offensive line up, I'm going to stay local and get Troy Fautanu. He can
yep,
replace um, Abraham Lucas on at right tackle, or keep Lucas at right tackle and move him inside to guard. He's just that versatile, and him being from Washington, he knows the area. So just keep him in the state, man, and win some football games.
yeah, yep. We got the Jags, and just going back to the same thing, we got the Jags here with the 17th pick. The Jags are another team who has great offense, wide receivers now. I mean, with Gabe Davis addition, they're obviously with ETN still great. I think Trevor Lawrence, I think he's got to start picking it up a little bit, but I'm not like sweating on him at all. I think he's still a great quarterback. So I think the Jags need to start focusing on their defense. And that's where, like I said, this was kind of between these two guys. I think they're going to go towards Arnold out of Alabama at quarter. Like you said, 3 years he's going to be a stud. He has that all that opportunity, and I think that's who they're going to take up. And like I said, if the Colts end up taking Arnold, I think the Jags will take bitches too with both those picks.
Yeah, it's another one of those trade up spots for me. The Raiders need a corner help. The Colts need corner help. Seattle wanted to double down on corners like they did last year with Witherspoon and getting Arnold or Mitchell. I would definitely could see Jag trading up to get that guy corner. But Terrion falling to them is great for him. Next up, I have the Bengals. Man, they've been every year trying their best to protect, find a way to protect Justin Herbert, not Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. I think that it doesn't change, man. They have the weapons on as wide receiver at on defense. I did have a quick thought on Latu, Latu. I think
Yeah.
they said. But I think O line is too precious to not protect him. Uh, Joe Burrow. They did sign Trent Brown, but he's a little older and probably going to be around much longer. But go ahead and get his replacement and J.C. Latham, uh, one of my Bama guys.
Yep, I think that's honestly. I think that's a great pick. That's who I had on there for them. Um, and this was one of those ones where I'm go with the 19th pick with the Rams. It was one of those ones where I think I was gonna go either with Latham if you end up going with Lot Two, and if not, then I'm gonna go with Lot Two with the Rams. Or I would have took Latham if you would have took Lot Two. But I think it's the same
Right.
thing with the Rams. With Lot Two, I think you got to really build around this Ram and get this offensive line a little bit better. Now, I could see also the Rams. I could see them going and focusing a lot on the defensive side now with I think Aaron Donald. Did he officially retire?
Yes, he retired. I was
Okay.
thinking about getting a replacement as well. Uh, Brian, Byron, I can't remember the last name at the moment, out of Texas, would be a great replacement for him if they wanted to go that route.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's that. I was in the middle of trying to think of where I could go with that, but I think they're going to focus more maybe on the offensive tackle side, and I think that's where, or the defensive side. I think that's where I like Lot Two, and I think they're going to add that addition to them.
All right, let me redo the picks. I had pressed my computer too many times and it changed the
Oh,
screen. All right, so we got Jaden Daniels, Drake May,
yeah,
Marvin
then Drake
Harrison
May.
Jr.,
Yep,
Malik Neighbors,
Malik. Yep,
I don't see him, Roma Duze.
yep. And then Joe
All
Alt.
right. Dallas Turner,
And
Jarvis.
Yep.
Brock Bowers. JJ. Fashanu.
Yep.
Raiders picked Penix Jr.
Yep.
Fuaga for the Saints. Quinyon Mitchell for the Colts.
Yep.
Troy for the Seahawks. Terry Arnold for the Jags.
And yep, JC Latham and Latua.
All right. Good luck, Lucky, for editing this. All right. The Steelers, of course, they grabbed 2 quarterbacks all season, but they also traded away Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers, and so they need a wide receiver. I think a great replacement for Deontay Johnson will be Brian Thomas Jr. Big, tall receiver. Really could have been a number 1 on most college teams, but had to share the ball with Malik Neighbors. He is just as good. He might go a lot higher if he continues to impress these scouts. Maybe he go top 15, top 17. But getting him at the 20th spot for the Steelers is a steal.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm going to be honest, that's a pick that I wasn't even looking at. I actually had them go with Mims. I think it was
I did too.
Mims.
I did too. They drafted Broderick Jones, his teammate last year. We played a lot of right tackle with Dan Moore Jr. and left tackle. I think eventually Broderick Jones is going to transition to the left tackle spot, and maybe Dan Moore goes over to right tackle or guard. So I did want us to double down on the left tackle when those spots are already have a decent guy in their spot, and having weapons for Justin Fields or Russell was more important to me personally.
No, yeah, that actually does make a lot of sense. I wasn't even thinking that way. And I think either way you could have went there. I think you could have went on the offensive line, or you could go with something like that to help Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, whoever gets in there. So, I'm interested to see what you think about the Dolphins here at 21. Here's another one. Tyreek Hill. Is he playing?
I think so. Why wouldn't you?
I thought I saw rumors that he was getting ready to retire too. That he wanted to be done.
I think he put out the timeline.
Was it just more of a talk thing?
I think he was just talking. I think he said he might be going to retire in a couple seasons. He don't see himself playing a lot much longer. I think he said something about his kids or whatever. He wants to spend more time with his kids.
Okay. All right. So with me for the Dolphins, I think I'm focusing on that offensive side. It looks like the consensus is saying that they're going to go with a center and Graham Barton. I don't know how true that's going to be. I think they do need to focus on the offensive line to protect Tua a little bit more, or they could go on the defensive line, especially with a lot of the injuries they've had in that defensive line, linebacker positions there. Now, with me thinking that the Steelers were going to go with Mims, I went with the Barton at center route. I went with the consensus because I just don't know where they're going to go with that. But I'm going to actually change that up, and I'm going to go with Mims now, Amarius Mims, out of Georgia on the offensive line side. I think that's going to help them a lot. And yeah, I think I'm going to take that where because I thought the Steelers might have maybe took that, but with us going down the line and you kind of going a different route there, I think they would go with that route. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in. Amarius Mims, great pick. If he can move over to the right side and let Terry Arnold continue to play the left side, and whenever he does transition to retirement, which he's over the age of 30 now, and he's probably getting there, Amarius Mims is a great replacement for him. So hats off to you. I was looking at center as well for the Miami Dolphins. I'm a little higher on Jackson Power Johnson out of Oregon.
Yep.
But Graham Barton would have been a great pick for them as well. Um, so yeah, either way it go, whether it's offensive tackle or center, either way it go, Miami needs to protect Tua,
Yeah.
and so
Yep.
he get the ball out to those great receivers, man. And the block for those the two-headed monster at running back. So yeah,
Yeah.
man, going O
Yep.
line is definitely the move. All right, we have the Eagles up now. They did have Jason Kelsey retire on them this past all season, but they have already drafted his replacement in Landon Dickerson out of Alabama, who played a lot of left guard. He could move into the center position, but if you want to stay put and put him and leave him at left guard, you could draft a Graham Barton, who we just mentioned, or a Jackson Power Johnson, who I'm very high on. I don't think center is the biggest need for them. I have to think their biggest need is cornerback, and the guy who
Yeah.
I've kind of fell in love in the draft process as of late is Nate Wiggins. He's a more smaller corner, but he's very fast, has great pickup speed, was challenged a lot, and so he was able to pick up a lot of balls at his time in Clemson. Kool-Aid McKinstry going into the preseason. This past season was my top corner rated. Terry Arnold, his own teammate, had jumped him. Quinion Mitchell had another stellar season. And Nate Wiggins is now also high on my board since the draft process has been going on. So I'm going to go Nate Wiggins, cornerback out of Clemson.
Yep. I actually liked who I had going there. I thought that was pretty good. And that leaves me with the so if nothing changes, this is where the Vikings picked up that pick from Houston, I believe, and now they got the 23rd pick. If it all stays the way it does, it looks like I have the Vikings taking JJ McCarthy at the 11th pick earlier in the round. I think if they do that, and I think that if that all works out that way, I do see them now going after the offensive line, I believe. And this is another one where, yes, maybe the Dolphins do go Graham Barton or go the center route, and they pick up someone there, and Mims is still available. But I see them either going that route, but with Mims being gone, possibly, I look at them going after Tyler. I think it's Goyton out of Oklahoma. I think a lot of your big name guys are already gone. And I think that's who they're going. I think that's the next guy on the list that I think is going to be pretty good in this draft, and that's who I think they focus on. But like I said, it's all going to matter on if Mims goes or not, because I do believe Mims will go ahead of him if he's still available on the board, if the Steelers don't take him, and if the Dolphins don't take Mims. But yeah, I do like Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma.
That's a great pick as well. They already have a still left tackle in Christian Darrisaw.
Yep.
Their current right tackle is Brian O'Neill. He will be on the team until 2026, but he also is 28, and so depending on how they feel about his age and him as a player, that could be out for them at offensive tackle. I
Yeah.
probably would have, me personally, I would have gone maybe corner with Kool-Aid McKinstry right there. It needs some help at corner, or even go in the interior with Johnny Newton, Byron
Yeah.
Murphy. That's some other picks on that defense side of the ball, but they're taking the quarterback is not a bad option. Not a bad safe option in the draft, man.
Yeah, and
Now let's go.
honestly, the thing with them
Good,
is
good.
the consensus is showing that they should be going more on the defensive side in this first round after JJ McCarthy. But I mean, and I don't know how easy it is for these offensive linemen to kind of learn the other side of the line or learn a different position on the line. But I think some of these guys are just so talented that if they can get them in there and they are a little bit better abilities than the other linemen that they have, I think you try to fit them in there if it's something they want to do. But the thing with if you do pick up JJ McCarthy or one of these top quarterbacks and that's going to be your guy, you have to protect him in this league now. And if you don't, it could ruin him. It could ruin his career. And it could ruin that number one draft pick that you're going to have in the first round draft pick in a quarterback. So that's why I always like to focus on an offensive line if you already have a young guy and you need to protect them just a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Um, well, since the top centers has fallen to the Cowboys, and the Mariners Mims and Tyler Guyton are gone. I was me personally. I've always seen them going after a center here with this pick. I'm more me personally. I would have gone offensive tackle with Tyler Guyton or Amir Mills, but all those guys are gone. Um, trying to replace not Terry Arnold. Trying to replace Tyron Smith is a huge task. I
Yeah.
know they've kind of on paper moved Tyler Smith over, but I really like him at guard, and I'm not really sure uh, how they got lost with, or even just decided to move him at tackle. Maybe they got more faith in him than I do at the position. And so right now that center position is wide open. I think Tyler uh, Bias or whatever his name was, the center they had at first is gone. So I'm just gonna take Graham Barton, a guy who's been mocked there for most mock draft, in that position with those tackles being gone. Like I said earlier, I'm bigger on Jackson Powers Johnson, but Graham Barton has been mocked there so much, I had no choice but to go there. Where
Yeah, and honestly, originally on my draft, I actually had Graham Barton going to the Dolphins. I do have the Cowboys with Jackson Power Johnson, and that might be how it ends up. I think I'm just kind of taking
mm,
that chance with the Dolphins on a good offensive lineman outside of the center, and maybe put Mims in
yeah,
there. But I could very much see it going Barton to the Dolphins or vice versa. And Cowboys and Dolphins are going to one of them guys are going to pick up a center. And if it does come down to the
hmm
Cowboys, I could see either Barton or Power Johnson going to them.
yeah. Graham Barton and Jackson Power Johnson is kind of like Joe Alt and Bashano. It's kind of like, what's your flavor? Like Barton has
Yeah.
more versatility, but Jackson Power Johnson is probably the best first center in the draft. So it kind of depends on what you like.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if he doesn't work out at center for the Cowboys, he can play tackle, he can play guard, which he played in college.
Yeah. And then with the 25th pick, you got the Packers, who I'll be honest, I'll be one of the first ones to say that, and I don't know if Lucky has told you this, but I'm in the sports card industry. I do trading cards, stuff like that. That's what I have a
Hmm.
shop and stuff here in Myrtle Beach. So Jordan Love was one of those guys where I was selling heavy when Aaron Rodgers was there. I just didn't see the talent. I didn't see it was going to be there. I got rid of his stuff, and I'm kicking myself in the butt now because
I
look
bet.
what he did. So, so yeah, I mean that offense now with bringing Josh Jacobs in, you got kind of a team right now that you're building around Jordan Love, and I'm
Hmm.
excited to see what that offense can do. And I think they really got to start focusing now on their defense. I think they could go any route here, and I guess it's going to be where they want to go and what good players are left at each position. I think they're going to start going after the corners in the first round. I think they're going to eat up some of these because I think there's a couple pretty good corners left over. The consensus right now is saying that they're going to go with is it Cooper DeJean out of Iowa,
Dejean,
DeJean out of
Dejean.
Iowa.
Hmm.
Um, I still like. I don't know if maybe it's his name that's catching me, and you're gonna like this. Cole
Kool
is
Aid.
it Cole Aid McKinstry? I mean,
Yeah.
you ever see the Key and Bill episode? That's one that
Yeah.
comes right off of there. I love that. I personally, and maybe you can fill me in on this because I'm not really big on the defensive side of the ball. I think this is an offensive side of the league, so I don't really look at these defensive players all too often. What is your opinion on Kool Aid and Cooper as a corner, and who would if you were the Packers, who would you be taking? I'm gonna go with just in the pick wise. I'm gonna go with Kool Aid. That's gonna be my pick, but I want to know what you actually think of this since he played on Alabama.
Um. Well, I just feel myself in on who they had playing safety. I know they lost Jonathan Owens, who's also dating what the gymnast's name? I can't remember at the moment.
Oh,
Uh, Simone Biles.
yeah, Simone Biles. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
he's dating Simone Biles, and so uh, I would have probably gone Cuba Jean because he has the versatility playing corner and safety.
Yep,
But turns out they replaced him with Xavier McKinney,
yep,
former safety out of New York Giants, and so Before that, I had Cooper DeJean mocked there because he can play corner or safety, which is both a need for them. But
Yep.
since they have a strictly need at corner, with Eric Stokes being injury prone, basically, I would go with Kool Aid McKinstry. And Kool Aid McKinstry is from Alabama. I wasn't I was a big fan of him coming into the season, but a lot of guys have jumped him in line, and getting him
Yep.
at 25 is a steal for the Packers right now because
Yep.
he is very talented, has a lot of potential, and to live up to the hype. So, man, uh, Kool Aid McKinstry to the Packers is a great pick. If one of the O linemen did fall, a Tyler Guyton or a Marius Mims, I would have went that direction as well. They did lose David Bakhtiari.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I forgot about that. So yeah, that's a big one too. But
Yep. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have needs at edge, at corner, at center, and although positions have a guy there that could be drafted here, you have Chop Robinson on the edge. You got Cooper DeJean at corner. Jackson Powers Johnson, who we have talked about a lot um, on this mock draft. Let's see what guards they have. Yeah, for the most part, the draft eligible guys are they're there. They can honestly just pick whoever they really want. Um, at one point, I was high on them taking a wide receiver. Um, Adion Mitchell is sitting right there. I think he is at this point in Chris Godwin's career. He might be better than Chris Godwin Mitchell is right now. But they have other needs in wide receiver. I think wide receiver is a luxury. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Chop Robinson, edge rusher out of Penn
yep.
State. Um, they've lost some guys in the offseason. A lot of guys getting older on that defense. So just adding defense talent that uh, not as good defense that was a few years ago when they won a Super Bowl can definitely replenish that team.
Yep.
We got the Arizona Cardinals up at 27.
So
What you got, man?
yeah, so 27th pick, the Cardinals. The Cardinals. Did I have them? Is that their? Or no, that you, no, you had them. Yeah, you had. So they locked up the wide receiver pool, and they, I guess, they could kind of go after that second wide receiver, with Mitchell there still sitting. I think they're gonna obviously. I think they're gonna go on the defensive side here, and this is where I think Cooper does go off the board out of Iowa. I think if they focus on the defensive side at the second pick in the first round, they're going to go up with Cooper. But I could see them maybe wanting to kind of stack that wide receiver position and maybe go with Mitchell. But if not, I think Cooper's going to be the fit here at corner.
You said Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean. Yep.
Okay, I like that pick. They have needs at corner and at safety. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how much money they're going to keep Buda Baker there, and so he'd be a great guy to replace them if they wanted to use him as a safety. If they want to use it at the number one corner, that'd be a great pick as well. Next up, we have the Buffalo Bills. They are in a luxury spot. Uh, both the top defense tackles are there, which is a key for them. A wide receiver, obviously, losing Stephon Diggs is also a big issue for them. Cooper DeJean just left. They have a hole at safety as well, with Jordan Powers going over to the Jets. I want to say.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm pretty
so
sure.
yeah, they have a pick of the litter. So I'm gonna look at either Byron Murphy Jr. or Adion Mitchell. I think I'm going to go with Mitchell with Stephon Diggs. Losing Stephon Diggs is a huge issue for them. I'm sure Josh Allen would love to keep his friend. They had a great rapport at one point. So to keep Josh Allen happy and not having to trade him or him lose interest in the team, getting a guy like Adion, I don't know how to say it now, Adonai Mitchell
Yeah, I think
out of
Darnay
Texas.
or Darnay. Yeah.
Yeah, so getting a replacement for Diggs is the pick for them. We got the Lions at 29.
Yeah, so the line's at 29. I'm trying to see. I don't know. I think the consensus say they're going to go edge, and I don't. I think they need more of. I was thinking they need more at corner. And the only one that I could see at corner where I think now you're getting to a point where you're just kind of taking a chance and you're just kind of maybe filling in where you think these guys will maybe show some talent and stuff like that. I do like, I think it's Enos Rakestraw Jr. out of Missouri. I think a lot of your top receiver or top corners are off the board. I think he's probably, you're now just going down the line, picking who fits your team better, maybe go through the interview process, who you liked. Like I said, the consensus is saying that they're going to go defensive or edge rusher. I don't think that's. I don't like that, but I think they should focus more on the corner side because they kind of. I mean, look what happened in the playoffs. You know what I mean? They had that locked up, and then they kind of let that go to the side. So I can see where they go both routes, but they got to focus on that defense in this draft for sure.
Yeah. Uh, there's no edge rusher there for me personally. Like you said, you're looking at corner. Even with the guy you selected in his Rackstraw, he may be more of a nickel guy anyway, more of a second round pick. Kamari Lassiter, who's also from Tuscaloosa, even though he went to Georgia instead of Bama, is a guy who I would consider here too. But is he more of a second round pick is the issue. So like you said, you be kind of reaching, taking the corners right now. I will honestly look at defensive tackle, add Johnny Newton or Byron Murphy to add to Aiden Mitchell off the edge, and Marcus Davenport, who you just signed from the Saints. So yeah, defensive tackle would be me. With the corners being so
Yeah,
overrated, kind of in this position. You're just sticking with corner, right?
I'm gonna stick with
I
the
need to
corner.
put it in
Yeah,
corner.
yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with the corner still. Yeah, yeah, corner.
And it's
Enos Rakestraw.
okay. Yeah, that'd be a nice guy and a slot for them going forward in the future. They got uh, Mick Robinson from the Raiders this off season, so maybe he pans out for the outside guy for him. Um, the Ravens are kind of in the same situation as the Lions. They need corner help. They
Mhm.
lost a lot of corners this off season, but a lot of these guys are kind of guys you kind of reach for at this point. Um, who did I had drafted earlier? Oh, at this point, uh, they lost some receiver talent as well. Devin Duvernay walked away, signed elsewhere. They still have Rashad Bateman, who has improved himself to be a number one option like they want. Zay Flowers, it could be a really good number two at the moment. Um, and so adding another guy who could compete each and every down uh, with those wide receivers, I have Xavier Worthy going there to replace Devin Duvernay on the special team side as a punt returner, as a kick returner, and also as a wide receiver to go along with a bigger Bateman and another speedster like Zay Flowers. Xavier Worthy, he set the record for the fastest 40 this last month at the combine with a 4.22 40.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. So Xavier Worthy, man, wide receiver out of
Yep.
Texas.
I like that. Yeah. So for my last pick, first round here, we got the 49ers upset a little bit with them over the offseason. I'm sure they're else in the but they're but Kansas City's a strong team. I'm excited to see who you have for that first pick for Kansas City in the first round there. Because I actually had Xavier Worthy going to Kansas City, so I'm excited to see who you pick there. Because I thought for sure they were going to pick up some heck of receivers in the offseason. They haven't done nothing yet, but with the 49ers, I
We
could
did get
see.
Marquise Brown.
Yeah, yep, that is true. So yeah, so that's a big pickup there. As long as he can not speed. Isn't that what he got in trouble for, speeding or something, or driving or some ticket or
No, you
something
talking
like
about
that?
Rasheed Rice?
Oh, that was
Rasheed
Rasheed Rice.
Rice,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. What's
he
going on
got
with
into a
that
car accident,
situation?
got into a car accident, a multi-car accident, and did a hit and run. and then left behind like 11 grams of marijuana, and but all he had to pay was like $1 million, which he doesn't make a lot already. He wasn't a first round pick. I think he might have been a
Yeah.
second or a third round pick last year. So that's going to put a dent in his pockets.
Yeah, I mean, is he still set to be able to play for the season and everything's good there, or?
They hadn't brought down any team suspensions yet,
Yeah,
or and Roger Goodell hasn't suspended him just yet. I'm thinking they probably going to do something in house, maybe the first couple of games of the season, but
yeah.
outside that, he should be fine to go.
Okay, yeah, because I had a lot invested in him too. I really liked him as a receiver. He's really talented. But
I
with the
did too. I
49ers,
did
yeah,
too, man. He had a great playoff run for us, man. So
yeah.
I'm,
Oh,
I'm
for
really
sure.
hoping he doesn't get in trouble for what he did. Maybe, like I said, suspend him for a while. But even then, I got them taking a receiver, no matter who you pick at this position.
Yep. And with the 49ers, I think they have two positions that they can really focus on here in like the first round, second round. And that's either going to be a corner or or focus on their offensive line. I think if the
Same.
Ravens didn't go with Jordan Morgan and on the offensive line at the number 30 pick, I'm going to go with Jordan Morgan for the 49ers here at 31. The offensive tackle out of Arizona. I think that offensive line for the 49ers kind of get Brock Purdy a little bit more protection. But I could also see if they maybe want to go down that corner line and start building a little bit of a nice secondary there in San Francisco. But yeah, with Jordan Morgan not going off the board there, the 30th pick, I'm going to take him here with the 49ers.
Yeah, I definitely consider Jordan Morgan, but I have a second round grade on him, so I didn't want to reach on him right now. It was either trade back or get some speed in Xavier Worthy. For the 49ers, I was
Yep.
looking more towards. I was looking at edge a lot for them when I was doing the mocks on my own. So Darius Robinson would have been a great pick there. If Chop Robinson could have landed, that would have been great. They did lose Chase Young, who a guy who they didn't really depend on much, but they did trade for him, hoping that he would pan out next to Nick Bosa.
Yep.
Byron Murphy and John Newton is there, and according to Pro Football Focus, they have them at 21 and 22. So maybe defensive tackle. Looking at who they got now on the defensive tackle, they have Javon Hargraves and Malik Collins. Maybe they can get a guy to replace Malik Collins, who isn't the biggest household name right now, like a Byron Murphy to replace him. But since you went Jordan Morgan, I'm gonna go ahead and take my wide receiver to end the draft. Um, I really like Lad McConkney.
Yep.
Show some real speed in the combine. Would be a great slot receiver for Pat Mahomes. But I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Rasheed Rice, like we talked about earlier. So I already having Marquise Brown in house and then some other speed receivers. I'm not really looking too much speed. Looking for a bigger guy in the red zone. So I'm going to go with Keon Coleman. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", 200 pounds. Didn't run great in the combine. I think he ran like a 4.5, late 4.5, 4.6 or whatever. Um, but with a guy like Patrick Mahomes, he can find the spots for a big receiver like him to get open in the end zone and catch touchdowns for us, man. But yeah, man, that was
Yeah.
the first episode of Hard Knock Sports Show, featuring your boy Karan Cadell, Casey, and Josh Ekman. Thanks for having you on this. Thanks for coming on the show, Josh.
Yeah.
Doing this mock draft with me. I had so much fun picking brains with you on this mock draft, and I can't wait to see how that second round will pan out. There's a lot of guys we left on the board that could have went
Yeah.
first round easily. So uh, see y'all next time. Please like, share, and subscribe to Gen 10 Minute Gaming on YouTube, Triple Threat Wrestling, Title Town TV on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, or whatever you get your podcast needs. I'm KC. You guys have a good night.
Have a good one.